They thought it was just another welfare check. A quiet street, a missing neighbor, nothing unusual. But when the garage door lifted halfway and the first beam of light hit what was inside, every officer froze. This wasn't crime. It was truth staring back. And it would force them to question everything they believed about justice and about themselves. It was one of those gray Ohio mornings where even the wind seemed tired. Officer Daniel Hurst sipped cold coffee as he rolled up to Maple Lane, the kind of street where lawns were neat and secrets stayed behind curtains. The call had come from Mrs. Jefferson, a worried neighbor. She hadn't seen Mr. Leonard Parker in almost a week. His papers piled up, his lights never flickered on, and his mailbox sagged with unopened letters. Hurst sighed. "Probably just a fall," he muttered. But something about Mrs. Jefferson's tone lingered, fear mixed with guilt. Leonard was well known here, a retired schoolteacher, kind, reserved, the type who remembered everyone's birthday but never shared much about his own life. He was also one of the only black residents in the area, something nobody mentioned, but everybody noticed. Hurst knocked at the front door. No answer. He called out louder. Still nothing. Then he noticed it. A small gap under the garage door. A faint draft came through, carrying the smell of cold metal and dust. He crouched, flashlight in hand. Something gleamed inside. That's when he radioed, "Dispatch, I'm gonna need a second unit here." What Daniel didn't know was that he wasn't about to find a body. He was about to find a man's legacy and his silence. When Officer Reed arrived, both men approached the garage slowly. The hinges moaned as they lifted the door. Inside, time seemed to stop. There were no signs of struggle, no chaos. Instead, the garage looked like a museum of a life fully lived. Tools neatly arranged, books stacked by subject, a workbench lined with photos. Hundreds of photos. Children. All races, all smiles, black and white fading into color over the decades. "Who are these kids?" Reed whispered. Hurst leaned closer. "His students," he murmured. "All of them." Every picture had a date, a name, and a note scribbled beneath. Graduated, married, engineer now. The pride in Leonard's handwriting was unmistakable. But on the far wall hung something else entirely. Newspaper clippings, dozens of them, all about racial profiling, wrongful arrests, and quiet injustices around town. In the center, one printed quote, "Justice delayed is justice denied." And that's when Hurst realized this wasn't a garage. It was evidence, not of a crime, but of conscience. They found a small camera light still blinking. Reed hit play. Leonard appeared on screen, sitting at the same desk, speaking softly. "I've taught hundreds of children to believe in fairness," he said. "But these days, I can't help wondering if fairness still believes in us." His eyes were tired, not angry, just disappointed. He spoke about being stopped, questioned, doubted, in the same town he'd served for 40 years. Then he smiled sadly. "Maybe if they saw what I've seen, they'd understand." The tape ended there, but the silence that followed said more than words ever could. They entered the house, careful, quiet, and there he was, Leonard Parker, collapsed but breathing, in his chair near the window. Relief flooded the room. He was alive. When paramedics lifted him, Leonard stirred. His eyes opened, and for a second, panic flashed across his face when he saw the police uniforms. That moment cut deeper than any wound Hurst had seen, because it wasn't fear of danger. It was fear of them. Later, at the hospital, Leonard thanked them softly. "Appreciate you checking in, officers," he said, voice steady but distant. Before Hurst left, Leonard added, "Sometimes danger doesn't break in. Sometimes it knocks." That line would stay with Hurst long after the paperwork ended, because for the first time, he wasn't sure who the story's victim really was. Weeks later, Leonard recovered. The local school decided to honor him by displaying his photos, now digitized and framed, in a small exhibit titled, "The Lessons We Forgot." When Hurst attended, he saw generations of faces smiling back. Every child Leonard had taught, white, black, brown, together, frozen in time, connected by one man's belief that education could outlive hate. No press, No spotlight, just quiet acknowledgement. Because what they found in that garage wasn't tragedy. It was testimony, a record of truth built one student at a time. As Hurst drove home that evening, the sky burned orange over Maple Lane. He thought about the notebook, the clippings, the tape, and the look in Leonard's eyes. He whispered the same words Leonard had pinned to that wall. Justice delayed is justice denied. And for the first time, he finally understood. Because sometimes the biggest discoveries don't solve a case. They change a heart.